about presence. I think it's very easy for all of us to get distracted and away from a sense of the mind and the body being in the same place at the same time. Um, and I was reminded of this story. I was listening to something, and it spoke about this and reminded me of this. I don't know if any of you remember. This was many years ago. Joshua Bell, who's one of the world's leading violinists, he there was an experiment. I can't remember who put out the experiment, but they wanted to determine whether or not people could recognize beauty when it was taken out of context and out of time. And Joshua Bell, who's one of the world's most well-known, renowned violinists, who playing one of the world's most famous violins. I don't remember the name of the violin, but a very famous old violin playing. I think it was Bach, but some of the world's most famous, beautiful music. So top of the game. And he went down into the New York subway and played music down there in the subway, and only 6 people stopped to listen to him play. And that's kind of shocking when you think about it, right? That you take something beautiful like that, where if everybody was just in a calm, relaxed place, there'd probably be a lot of people who would stop and listen and recognize, oh, this is special. Let me pay attention here. But because it was at busy commuter time in a subway in New York City, people's sense of being able to experience the moment dwindled, and people got caught up with the task at hand, which was hurrying to work. I don't know if any of you read about that study from long ago, but it was maybe, I don't know, it was pre-pandemic. So that's like life before pandemic, life after pandemic. But anyway, I think it speaks a lot to what can happen to us when we get really caught up with the busyness of our schedules, with the busyness of our minds, that we can sometimes forget that beauty is all around us and within us at every moment of every day. So, how many times have you missed out on a moment of recognizing beauty, even with your own children? Especially when they're young and you're busy with them. Have you ever had the moment as a parent? I think everyone here is a parent. Have you ever had the moment where they have wanted your attention and you haven't given it because you've been just distracted by something else? And then you kind of regret it afterwards. And I think this happens to us on the regular, and our distractions are tenfold, right? There's so many things we can get distracted by, going down rabbit holes on our phone and on our digital devices. We can get distracted by all sorts of things in the world, and forget that we're supposed to just be present for the moment. So, what have you been missing out on? Have you experienced beauty in nature lately? Have you experienced the beauty of the people you love? Have you experienced the simple beauty of the everyday moments? So as you sit up straight and tall and close your eyes for a moment, think about what you've experienced today since you've began consciousness out of dreaming, and wake. What have you been grateful for? What have you noticed in the day? And if you've been busy and caught up in the racing mind and haven't noticed much, let's do it now. Okay, so with your eyes closed, we have a greater perception of the inner world. Is there something lovely that you're noticing in this moment for yourself? As you relax your face and soften somewhere in your body, notice that sensation and what it feels like. Is there something just so lovely about the ability to relax, the feeling, the sensation of relaxing? Can you move into the awareness of your breath? Pay attention to the simple sensation of breathing, the comfort and ease, the freshness, the release. As you slow down the mind and the body to come to a place of togetherness, harmony, where the mind and body settle into one, what is more available in that space than the busy mind, the busy body? If you're struggling with coming into that level of connection with yourself, notice that too, that you might have a little work to do to help yourself enter into the present moment. Place your hands together at your heart and bow in. So offering an intention. An intention really is just this concentration of our energy. And this is really what sacred presence, present moment offers us. Release your hands and find your way onto your mat on your back. So as you lie down, try through your practice. I mean, always our practice is a gateway into presence. That's one of the beautiful things about stepping onto your mat. Let's see if we can sync up our breathing. So remember that your breath is truly a gateway into the present moment awareness. Breath happens in real time. So when we connect with the breath, we are in real time. So leave off any expectations, leave off any, judgments of what you should or shouldn't or could or couldn't or can or won't or don't. Just see if you can instead melt into your body. So have a little bit of Shavasana to begin. All right, so feel your limbs drop. Let your head get weighty on the ground. And let's feel ourselves moving into our breath. Where's the breath easily moving today? Where is it a little tight? Is your belly able to respond to the breath and move? Is your diaphragm and your rib cage, are they pliable and mobile? Are your exhales complete? Start to train your awareness, your mind, into and onto the breath. So attach yourself to the way you're breathing or just the sensation of breathing. Let it be your guide through your practice. Nothing else matters as much as the breath. Okay, so let's stretch our arms, maybe overhead. Reach into the fullness of your body, maybe stretch one side and then stretch the other side. Just feeling that beautiful opening in the body. What does this sensation feel like? Are you breathing? And then bring your knees into your chest and rock a little bit. How's your back today? How's your spine feeling all the way from your crown to your tail? And let's circle the knees. Notice how you're breathing. Circle the knees the other direction. Pay attention to sensation. Present moment awareness is sensation. The body's always in the present if we're just aware of it. The breath is always in the present if we are aware of it. We become connected. All right, so let's open knees away from the midline, bring them back in. Where's your breath in this movement? Okay, put your hands out like a T out to the side. Put your feet on the ground a little wider than your hips and windshield wiper your knees, left and right. Just coming into that fluid movement of rotation. We're going to go a little deeper into this in just a moment, but for now, just feel into that range that you have. And the twist we usually do at the end, let's start. Lift your hips, scoot them over to the right, bring your knees up and drop them to the left. And hang on to the outer right knee with your left hand, turn your head to the right. Fill up your breath. So sometimes when we twist, there's a different kind of sensation moving through our ribs as we breathe. So notice any restriction that the twist inherently gives. Also notice any opening that the twist gives. Okay. Coming back to center, scoot the hips over to the left, knees come up and drop right. Right hand on outside of left knee. Stretch your left arm, turn your head to the left. Just notice what's happening in your body. How can you let your breath help your body right now? Is there any part of you that can surrender more? And come back to center. Stretch your limbs out like a star. Open your body out, wiggle your fingers and toes while you're here. And touch out to the edges of you. And then bring your knees into your chest. Pick up your head. Come into a snug little ball. Let's repeat. Inhale. Expanding big and wide. Exhale. Drawing your knees and head in. Relax your head back down. Either grab on behind your knees or onto your feet for happy baby pose and let your body rock a little bit left and right. So if the feet are too far away, grab behind your knees. Let your low back open up some. Feel the weight of your head. And then relax that right knee into your chest, left leg long on the ground. Feel a good squeeze. Feel into the length of your spine. Roll around in your ankles and feet. And as you do this, pay attention to any sensation that's arising in your body. Bring the breath into whatever you're feeling. A lot of times we can disassociate or we can obsess over something in our body or both. Okay, so let's see if we can have a sense of fluidity where we move our breath through our body and we become aware in a very soft, gentle way where we're trusting and curiosity. Find all the little things that help you stay available to the present moment. Okay, reach out one more time to a big open star. And then exhale, draw your knees and head comes up, rolling over onto your side. Come up onto your hands and your knees. If you haven't moved much yet today, notice if even just the simplicity of warming has a great impact on your sense of awareness in the present moment. So start to move through some cat-cows. Place your mind into the sensations of your body as best as you can. Move with your breath. Let your breath be your guide, that you're just following the trail of the breath. It's the leader on the trail. All right, move your body around any way that serves you. So you can wag your tail, you can roll around in your hips, you can move through your rib cage, you can loosen up any part of your body that's calling to you. Try to pay attention to the call of the body instead of the habits of the body. Curls under and stretch back like child's pose. Just opening up the bottom of your feet. Try to touch your inner ankles together. Okay, and then release that. Maybe smack your feet a little bit on the ground. Wake up the tops of your feet. And then let's find our twist. Reach the arm, either arm up in the air. Take that arm through. Notice the breath again. Twisting really can shift how we breathe, so pay attention. Do you feel like you're wringing out a sponge anywhere? And if so, bring the breath like you would fill the sponge with water again. Reach that arm back up in the air. Hand comes down, change side. Reach the palm up in the air, bring that arm through. Gaze toward the ground, feel that sense of surrender. Notice how your breath is moving. Find a little nook and cranny for it to go in. All right. And inhale, lift that arm all the way back up. Hand comes down onto the ground. All right. Stretch back towards regular child's pose. Walk the hands forward. Feel that shoulder opening. Reach the finger pads as far forward as they'll go. And then come back up onto all fours and turn this into a dog pose. So come on to your hands and your feet. Rising up, and now that awakening that we've been doing through the body, let's keep that sensation awareness going as we start to move into the legs. Pedal your feet, drop one heel down, drop the other heel down, and just open up the calves, the Achilles. Feel into the fullness of sensation that's available to you. Okay, so spread out the hands, yield into the earth, feel the lift through your spine. How is your breath? Is there any part of your head that can soften? Any part of your face that can release? Can the sit bones lift a little higher? Can you feel the femur bones lift up and back? Can you feel the heels stretch down and back? How's your breath? All right, walk your feet forward. Come into Uttanasana, bend your knees. Find that sense of what a forward fold offers the body, offers the mind. All right, find a halfway lift when you're ready. Extend through the body. Legs and spine are straight here. And while you're here, up on blocks if you have them, let's go ahead and pedal your feet again. So bend one knee, then bend the other knee, feeling into what happens in your hips, all the way down your legs when you move in this way. All right, spread out your feet again, bend your knees, drop your head, soften. And as you're ready, drop your seat, rise on up. Lift your arms to the sky, opening up, reach up and back. If your body is open for that, see what's available. As always, we're trusting our body. We're modifying anything that needs to be modified to support ourselves. Let's cactus open our body, feel the back of you start to wake up, okay? And then release the hands down. Give the hands a shake. Find the breath. Interlace your fingers behind your back, open across your chest. We are going to come forward, but before we do so, lift the heart. See if you can feel that extension. Squeeze the shoulder blades, and then relax that just a bit. Bend your knees, melt your head down, arms come away from your spine wherever they go. Open up the fronts of your shoulders. And then release your hands down. Halfway lift again. Spine gets long. Exhale and melt. Step your left foot back, coming to a lunge. Place your back knee on the ground for a moment. Feel the hip flexors open. We're gonna go back and forth with our back knee on the ground. So I like to do this with hands high on blocks or on the high end of the block, but you figure out what height is good for you. We're gonna come back into half Hanumasana and forward into a lunge. Now, if your knee does not like to be on the ground like this, then you can do it the way we usually do it. And we're going to do it that way in a moment. All right, come to a lunge. Lift your knee off the ground and let's move a little deeper into that sensation now with our legs straight. Tuck your chin toward your chest, lift your toes, and then place your foot back down on the ground, chest forward. How is your breath? Try not to go without it. All right, when you feel ready to be more still, find your steady lunge, let your legs ground and rise up. Bring your arms wherever serves the breath. And if you're not sure, experiment. See, what does the breath feel like with your hands here, here, or here? Try to figure out some different positions that really serve the well-being of your breathing. Remember to completely exhale. All right, release your hands down. Back knee comes back onto the floor. Come into half Hanumasana again. This time we're going to twist. So you might even want to stack the two blocks on the inside edge of your right foot. Okay, we're going to twist open. Bring that hand behind you. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. Notice what your hips are doing. Try not to hike your hip out. Drop that right hip down. See if you can put a little weight on the sit bone. Lift the crown. And then release, relax. Come into a runner's lunge. So hands on the inside edge of your right knee. The back knee can stay on the ground where it was, or if you want, you can lift that knee up off the ground for a fullness of the hips here. So you do you, find the way that works. Chest is broad. Okay, and then we're going to bring the back foot forward and come to a squat. Right, so feeling your feet, you can turn them out or straight, whichever position feels more comfortable for your knees. Hips stay in line with the knees instead of dropping low. Feel into that work in the hips. And if you want a little extra something, try taking your arms back or out to the sides or forward. Feel your back body start to work in conjunction with your legs. Press your feet into the ground. Engage your core a little bit. How's your breath here? Okay, let's stand all the way up, standing star. Okay, bring your feet back to neutral, and we're going to take our left foot forward now, and our right foot back, coming into a lunge. Place your back knee on the ground. Your toes can curl under or lay flat, whichever feels comfy for your body. Check in with your breath again. Let's start to move when you feel ready. Okay, so you can go back and forth. Move with your breath. Move with your breath. What's the sensation that's predominant? What are you feeling in your body? Just dive into the sensation, be aware. Let's ground ourselves here. Lift your toe or curl your toes under if they weren't. Lift the back knee up off the ground and continue the movement with the knee off the ground. You can lift your toes if you want. You can tuck your chin if you want. Whatever feels right. Remember, we're searching for sensation and we're living inside the breath. Are you grateful for what you're feeling? Does it feel good to be in your body? Ground yourself when you feel ready. Stillness, rooting the legs. Come on up. You can bring the arms anywhere that serves. Okay. So serving your body might mean putting your hands on your hips. Serving your body might mean leaning forward a little bit or holding on to something for some support. Ground yourself in the posture, yield your legs, feel the rising tide of your spine. Feel ready, hands come back down, knee back down onto the ground, half Hanumasana. Lift your chest, you can stack blocks or just use one block, whatever feels good, on the inside edge of your left leg. It's often, we often want to stick our hip out to the side, so see what you can do with that left hip to drop it down, to feel the crown lift. Reach into a twist, take your left arm open wide behind you, open the chest, have your toes point straight up, the inner thighs roll down. And come back to center. Half runner's lunge. Okay, so come into here with your knee down. Now, if you want to go into the full runner's lunge, lift that knee up off the ground. Your choice. Knee down or knee up. Chest is broad, collarbones are broad. Feel into that deep work in the hip. Breathing deep. All right. Return that leg behind you, find dog pose. Extending through the spine here. Again, if you want to pedal your feet and notice movement, or maybe you want to be very still and notice stillness. Pay attention to your breathing, listen to and trust your body to give you the cues of where you go next, how deep you go, what kind of modifications you need. Come forward into a plank as you feel ready. Integrate into the core of your body, shoulders down, feel the legs, support yourself. And we'll put our knees down, find the ground. Roll the shoulders a few times. Inhale, cobra pose. Open that chest up. Exhale and melt to come back down. Let's repeat it again. Inhale, enjoy the chest opener. Exhale and come back down. Up on tall fours, move your spine. Just like we did in the beginning, maybe find some cat-cows, maybe some swirls, anything that feels good. Okay, as you feel ready, come back to dog pose. Extend through your spine here. Feel into the body. Breathing well. And let's walk our feet forward and come into Uttanasana again. Rising up, arms to the sky, opening up the breath, hands come down when you feel ready. Now just pause here. We've opened up a lot of parts of our body. Just notice how you feel, how your breathing is doing. Okay. And then come into chair pose. If you like a block between your thighs, take a block between your thighs. Sometimes, when my knee's bothering me, a block really helps me to stay very stable. So I usually use block when I have a little, joint issue going on. But if you don't, maybe you like no block. Just see what feels good for you. Again, just like before, we can have our arms back, out to the side. We can have our arms up. We can have our hands to our heart. So find the way that feels good for you. Breathing deeply. The neck stays soft. Finding your breath. Inhale, rise up. Relax. Release your hands and turn sideways on your mat. Okay, wide legs. Start with a wide squat. So turn your hips, your knees out, your toes out. Just opening up the inner groin muscles, feeling that sense of depth in our hip joints. Checking with your ankles, your knees, your hips. Everything feeling like you're supporting yourself well. Come on up to stand, arms coming to the sky, standing star. Trace right down through the center of the body. Pause here for a moment. This nice big wide stance. A full breath in. A long exhale out. Turn your right foot out. Okay. Find your way into a mobile Virabhadrasana 2. So arms up if you want. Exhale and find Vira 2. Having a little fluid movement. We're inside of our breath. When you feel ready to stay, stay. Now remember, hands can be on your hips. You can have your hands out to the sides. You can have your elbows bent. So choose a pathway. You can have your knee a little less bent. You can have your knee a little more bent. Find what's right, what's giving you breath, sense of stability. Breathe into the bigness of this pose. Can you feel how wide you are? Can you feel your space from your hand to your hand, from the sense of the 4 limbs of your body, but also the 6 limbs of your body, your crown and your tail, get everything to expand. Reverse your warrior when you feel ready. Open into the rib cage. Enjoy that. Straighten your leg for a moment and then re-bend. Commit to that lunge. Open up into side angle pose, Parsvakonasana. Shoulders are away from the ears. Feel into the beautiful grounding, the spaciousness. What's the music of this posture that you might be missing if you're just caught up with when is it going to be done? Relax your neck. Feel the roots of your feet. Give way to your breath. Let's straighten up the legs. Turn your feet, heel toe your feet back to the center. Just find your way. If you want to use a block again, you can use a block. Back into the sense of a chair. You can go as deep or as shallow as you want. And feel that sense of hugging now to the center. You know, we came out wide, now we're coming in close. Bring your arms wherever you want them to be. Feel your way into your breathing. And stand on up, straighten your legs, take your legs wide. We're going over to the left, okay? So again, moving freely. So find the sense of flow that comes with this pose. If you can straighten arms and legs as you inhale, and come more deeply into the posture as you exhale. Doesn't matter whether you bring your hands up, or in, or flowing with breath. When you're ready to be steady, be steady. Shoulders down, gaze out over your fingers. Breathe your way into the soles of your feet. Feel that grounding. Let your neck and shoulders melt a little bit. So instead of feeling like those muscles are holding your arms up, imagine that your lungs are holding your arms up. They're the base for your arms to rest upon. Let your belly move in the posture, grounding the legs. Reverse your warrior when you feel ready. Reach that arm up, feel the side body open. Enjoy your breath. Move it into the very bottom of your ribs. Straighten your leg for a moment and then rebend to come into Parsvakonasana. Elbow on your knee, arm up. Maybe arm is down. Okay, so find the pathway that's right for your body. Shoulders away from the ears, the neck stays neutral. How are your hands? Are they relaxed or holding tension? How are the exhales? Are you able to ground your feet? your legs. Let's come on up, wide-legged stance. A little bit of mobile pose here. So inhale, arms come up and wide. Exhale, feel that sense of the downward energy. Inhale. Put your arms anywhere in the sequence that you want. You don't have to follow me. Move with your breath. This time, lean forward, open up those inner groins again. Head relaxes. Put your hands down on the ground or blocks, turn your feet forward and rest here. If you'd like to put your head on a block, you can do that. Shoulders up away from the ears. All right, turn back to the front of your mat. Find your way into a dog pose again. Move into your breath. Yield your body forward into a plank when you feel ready. Okay, and then find the ground. Open up here. Any back bend of your choosing. Lengthen. And then melt. Let's roll over onto our right side. Grab onto your left foot. Stretch your left quad. Bring your left heel close toward your left buttocks or wherever you go. If you need to use a strap around your ankle to hold on, you can do that as well. Bend your right knee enough to feel stable. Support your head on your arm, or if you need more support, put a block under your head. Enjoy the quad stretching. Tailbone descends, pubic bone lifts. How's that breath here? Let's change sides. Coming over to the left, bend your knees, grab onto your right ankle with your right hand, and stretch your quad here. You can always put a block underneath your head if you want a little extra support. Feel that sense of the pelvis being very stable, so we're not slack. We want a slight lift of our low belly, pubic bone toward the belly button. Don't cut off your breath. See if you can stay in the breath. Knee stays in line with your hip. Relax. And just be here on your side for a moment. Breathing well. We're going to turn over when you're ready onto your back. Take your time, enjoy that sideline for a moment. Okay. We're going to come into a bridge pose. You can stick a block between your thighs if you want to, just like in the chair poses we were doing. So lift your pelvis, come onto the tops of your shoulders. Feel into the beauty of this posture. Breathe into your belly. Ground your feet. All right, and then melt your pelvis back down. Rest on your back. Soften your head, your neck, your shoulders. Feel free to rock a little bit left and right with your knees if that's what the body's asking for. All right, we're going to roll over onto our side and come up into a lunge with our right foot forward. Now, if you know that doing the quad stretch with your knee on the ground is not good for you, then you're going to take a different posture. So we're going to have our right foot forward, our left foot back. Left hand can be on the block or on the ground. Reach the right arm behind you and grab onto your left foot. Now, if you know that this is not good for your knee, And, be forward of your knee. You want to be on the quadriceps side of your knee more than on the kneecap. But if that's too much for you to manage, you can stand up, you can hold on to something if you need to, and we'll just do a quad stretch like this on each side. So whatever posture it fits your body, and you may have an issue with one side and not the other. So see how you do. All right, so once you are ready to release this, go ahead and find that not half, I keep saying half, but I don't mean half. The runner's lunge with your right foot forward, your left knee down, okay? You can lift your knee up off the ground if you want. Find your breath. Okay. Let's come back to dog pose, extending through the spine. And we're going to bring our left foot forward, right foot comes down onto, or right knee comes down. If you're doing the standing squat, quad stretch, you go ahead and do that. You can put your right hand on a block here, or you can put it on the ground, whichever feels best for your body. If you can't quite reach your foot, you can wrap a strap around your ankle. Okay. Open up, find your way into this posture. Try not to let your body fall. So it's okay to turn your toe, left toe and knee out, but try not to let it fall out to the side. Stay grounded through the 4 points of your foot. Open up into the breath. Release into the quad stretch. And when you feel like you're about done, you can place your left hand down onto the ground and come into runner's lunge on this side. You can lift your back knee or put it down on the ground. Open up through your spine, your collarbones. Most importantly, move through your breath. As you feel ready, take that foot back, dog pose. Extending through your spine, breathing well. Okay, let's come down into child's pose for a moment. Take your knees closer wide and all that opening in the hip flexors. Let's just let it relax and melt here. All right, come up to rest on your belly. So we're going to do Dhanurasana. If you can't reach your feet, you can grab onto a strap and wrap it around your ankles. Otherwise, grab onto your feet, take a deep breath in, and lift everything up. Pull your feet back, chest is open, neck is long. Try not to fling your head back, pubic bone toward the belly. Try not to splay your knees out. Breathing. Melt and release. Hands under your head, rocking feet left and right. All right, we're going to bring our left knee high up toward our armpit, cross the right arm over to the left, and open up to a twist. Head is on the ground, release into the chest opening of this. Let your knee leave the ground. Move into your breathing. All right, come back. Second side, scooch over to the left side of your mat. We're going to bring our right knee up toward our armpit. Cross the left arm over to the right side of the mat and then lean onto your back, twist open, arms out. Your right knee leaves the ground. Breathe into the open body. Let your head melt on the ground. Okay, come back up onto all fours. Move your spine about. Find your way into either reverse pigeon, or you can, have your thigh over your thigh and draw your knees in. Whatever is your favorite hip stretch, where you kind of get into those external rotators in your hip. So make a choice. I'm just trying to release our hips a little bit before we do a restorative back bend. So let's find whatever's available to get free. Now, while you're here, let your head get heavy, whether it's face up or face down. Feel the spaciousness of your diaphragm, the freedom in your sit bones, nice and wide. Are you listening to the breath again and again? All right, let's find our way to the other side. So if you're on your back, let the back of your head rest. If you're on your front, support your hip as much as you need if you're in pigeon pose. Let a block come under your head if you're needing that. Full breathing. All right, when you come out of the pose, either come onto your back with your knees closed or happy baby. If you're on your front, child's pose, just let your back relax for a moment. All right. And come on up and grab one blanket and two blocks. So we're going to do a heart bench with your block. So you can either have a long way or across, depending on your height. One may feel better. You can have the block on its lowest height or its middle skinny height. You can have the block under your head be at the same height as your back block or one notch higher than your back block. And then with your blankets, so don't go in the pose yet until you get your blanket situated. We're gonna open the blanket up like a snake, so that we're going to do Supta Baddha Konasana with our legs with support. So a nice long blanket, soles of your feet are gonna come together. You're gonna have the blanket kind of tucked underneath the outer hips, and then the blocks underneath your spine. So it can take a little bit of adjusting. And of course, if you have other props that you'd rather use for a variation of a heart opener and a hip opener, you can do whatever feels good. So perhaps you'd rather be on a bolster instead of blocks. Perhaps you'd rather have other support underneath your knees. So find your way, but most importantly, make sure you are supported. Okay, so you want to have the ability to surrender here. That we've done plenty to prepare for the openness of the body. So once you get to a place where your body is comfy, your only task is to pay attention, to be present, to feel your breath moving, to feel your body relaxing and opening. After you settle a little bit, you might notice, I really need the block a little bit different positioned. And if you get to that place, then just make whatever subtle shift you need to make. so that your body can rest fully. If you're at all cold, hopefully you have a blanket nearby that you can just pull over you. You position with your arms. That feels good. Let's begin to transition when you feel ready. So you can take your legs together and maybe roll over onto your side, curl into a little ball. When you feel ready, there's no rush. Let your back ease on your side for a moment, and then come onto your back. Bring your knees to your chest and rock a little bit. Full breath in and out. A little twisting to release from that. You need a happy baby, or maybe coming over to a child's pose. So find the pathway that works for your body to release from the intensity of the back bend. And as you do so, think about Shavasana. You know, would you like to have your legs up on a couch or a chair? Would you like to be on your side? Would you like to have a lot of support on your knees or nothing at all? Do you need more warmth? So pay attention to all the subtle little things that might be needed. And then when you're ready, come into Shavasana. So this is our pose where we get to absorb all the other poses. It's our practice of presence in rest, within rest.
a lot of times when we lose the task for our mind to accomplish, such as, move this way or that way, we go back to patterns of habit in our mind where we roll off into the past or future or whatever imaginings. So bring your awareness back home to the body. The body and the breath are the sacred presence. Let your mind rest within. You're ready. First, just bring your breath. Start to move the body. Curves. And find the transition onto your side. As you feel ready, you can slowly bring yourself upright. There's no rush. Allow your practice to be a refuge for present moment awareness. We dip into this place where we're connected to ourselves. And see if you can dip back in here anytime you need it in your day today when you feel like you might be a little distracted or moving too quickly. You can return home to the breath at any moment. Let's offer our energy outward. Send your prayers and love to another. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.